You've been very critical about the Libra project and the approach that Facebook is taking. What is your number one concern?
My number one concern is that we basically have a privately sponsored, for-profit currency of currencies at the global level that is not really safeguarded well and might increase risk rather than mitigate risk.
But so the argument, though, that you're hearing from a lot of people who are pushing back on this is that either A, it's not needed, or that B, if it is needed or if it's going to sort of rear its head, that the central banks of the world should sort of be in charge of it.
Well, I think there is a point that something like Libra is needed, or maybe central bank issued digital currencies. I do think that they have a point that our current payment system is outdated, particularly in the United States, I would say, that we could have a better system that is more inclusive, more efficient, that makes much cheaper transactions, especially transnationally, available for many more people. So I think there is a point that we should update our system, and the push is welcome. I think we need to think about that. The question is ultimately who should govern that, and whether we want to leave this to private forces or whether a payment system and the money that is transferred through that payment system is ultimately a public good that should be guarded by some other agents.
But will, as yet, the US central bank and US regulators have not embraced from a public perspective. And yes, Facebook's leading the charge in the Libra Association, but it's joined by a number of other companies that would have equal stakes. It wouldn't be Facebook owning the situation to a certain extent. It would integrate very nicely within the platform. But do we not need some sort of platform the size, the scale of a Facebook that would just help bring such payments about as quickly? How would really an adoption of a digitalized dollar get into the ecosystem as quickly if it wasn't through a platform such as Facebook?
No, I think this is what Facebook is offering. It's saying we are transnational. We have 2.7 billion users around the globe. And so we could scale this up at a level that actually no national central bank could do as well. On the point whether Facebook is just one of many, I don't think the Libra could start without Facebook being part of it. So that tells you that it's not really one among equals. It's special amongst those because they couldn't do it without it. I would imagine that all the legal bills that are currently being paid to lawyers to try to get through the regulatory hurdles are being footed not by the Libra Association, which doesn't really have much capital, right, but by Facebook.